I forgot to mention before, as I'm sure you guys are all aware, because you see it all the time, when this car was produced by GM in 2008 until 2010, it was provided with a 2.0 liter turbocharged Ecotec LNF engine that produces 260 dual. That means 260 horsepower and 260 torque. It also has, NLS, no lift shift, where you can switch gears and without having to take your foot off the accelerator in between the gear changes. And it has factory launch control. If you press the traction control button twice there, you'll go into competitive mode and it'll bring you to launch control. You have 260 horsepower and 260 pound-foot of torque going to the front wheels. The peak torque at 2,000 RPM and the peak horsepower at, I think, 5,300 or 400, something like that. I can't remember exactly how much. All right, driving this 2009 Chevrolet Cobalt SS Turbocharged LNF. Did I say sedan? If I didn't, sedan. This is a very interesting car. These things were made from 2008 to 2010 because apparently the supercharged version couldn't make the cut or something like that. So then GM went back to the drawing board and designed this thing, and it's pretty much like a Cobalt on steroids. 260 horsepower, 260 torque, pretty much 260 dual, and it moves. My car is virtually stock for the most part, just the upper charge pipe. I don't know if I told you before, the upper charge engine intercooler piping, and the K&N Typhoon intake. Besides that, it's virtually unmodified. In regards to handling, it handles pretty interestingly. My version fortunately has the limited slip differential from the factory. Well, factory option is the G85 package. You can up to get the G85 package, which comes with a limited slip in the sunroof. I think I said that previously. So handling is very interesting. Boost essentially kicks in right away. There's not much of a delay. You can hear right there. It's pretty noisy. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, the boost, there's not much of a delay. Like the turbo kicks in like instantaneously. The problem I have with this car is torque steer. It takes a little bit to get used to. The torque steer, it can catch you off guard, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can lose control. It takes a while to get used to it, like I said. Because all that power is coming to the front wheels because it's a front wheel drive car. Essentially, this is pretty much a car perfect for someone that's like, I want to go fast on a budget, turbo force induction, and I don't have a lot of money. I can't afford a Subaru WRX STI or a Subaru WRX, or I can't afford a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, or any of those higher expensive vehicles. And this is that. This is the vehicle that would be perfect for you. That like when you're on it, like that turbo just sounds so good. It's quite a drive, I must tell you. And then one thing I find interesting with this car, sometimes when you downshift, you'll literally lose traction. Now I don't know if that's my tires. I got my tires looked at by my mechanic. My mechanic said my tires are fine. But sometimes when you downshift, I'm gonna downshift here, and let's see if I lose traction. I don't know if I will, let's see. I didn't lose traction, but there we go, boost. It's a good drive. I wanted to go in the middle of nowhere to get a proper drive of it because of you know, too much traffic and whatnot. So went in the middle of nowhere. Surprisingly, I didn't lose traction. I'm surprised. Usually a lot of times I would lose traction. All right, here we go. I'm gonna kick it. Dang, as you can see, this thing is no slouch. It really does go. It really boogies, man. I must say. Although I do kind of miss my Civic Si. I don't know if you guys been following my channel, but I do have a Civic Si. I sold my Civic Si to purchase this. I do kind of miss it, but when you hear that boost sound, you're just like, VTEC what? Like, listen to this. You hear that? You hear the hissing? You let go? Woo! VTEC what? VTEC what? More like got boost, baby. Got boost. All right, let's do another one. Let's downshift and let's just kick it. Holy shoot, man. Oh my gosh. It's a fun car to drive, man. I must say. It's a very fun car to drive. Hearing that boost, just if it handled better because of that torque steer. That torque steer could be your rival. That's why you got to know what you're doing. You got to be prepared for it. And I've let a couple of my friends drive this car, and like, for example, I let my mechanic drive my car. He actually thought something was wrong with my car. I guess he's never driven a high horsepower front wheel drive vehicle like this. But then again, I believe the Civic Type R is front wheel drive, and it's pushing a little bit more than this. I think it's pushing like 305 or 310. But Honda's different. Honda's been in the game for many, many years. Honda has perfected they're a master of their craft. They perfected their cars, their handling. Well, not perfection, but you know what I mean. Like, in terms of quality, materials, and workmanship, Honda is miles ahead of GM. Like, look at this. You hear that? This plastic thing? This airbag, it feels like I can lift this thing up. I don't know. It's just very flimsy in here. It's cheap quality. And speaking of cheap quality, it brings me to mind to discuss that I've had some issues with this car. Mind you, this is a 2009 Chevrolet Cobalt. My Civic was also a 2009 as well. I had zero issues with my Civic. Well, not zero issues, but the issues that I have with this car, I did not have with my Civic. For example, the power windows takes a long time to wind down and wind back up. Then also, one time it rained and I got rain. I don't know if you can see here, I got rain over here. And what happened was my power windows started, not my power window, sorry, my power locking mechanism system started to malfunction, and the alarm kept on coming on. Every time I got out of the car would lock itself. It was glitchy. Apparently that's a known issue with GM. You get a little bit of rain over here, you got to replace the whole entire console or something like that, and that's very annoying. I have my Civic multiple, not saying that you should let rain get down there, but you know, I didn't do it intentionally. With my Civic, I had no problems. Rain got over here, my power locking mechanism, my alarm didn't start glitching. Mine started bugging out. Mind you, mine started bugging out. Like, the quality is just not there compared to Honda, man. I'm telling you. Like, that's why a Civic will generally go for more than a GM. Not a GM, a Cobalt. Because when you hear Cobalt, you're like, people are just like, Cobalt, really? Civic has a better name, like better reputation than the Cobalt does. I do like the fact that it has cruise control on the steering wheel. There was a video I was watching. Someone has a Dodge Neon SRT4. That was another car I was considering about getting. But interesting enough, it doesn't have steering wheel controls. It doesn't have cruise control. I mean, that might not be a big deal for some people. So yeah, it has cruise control on the steering wheel, and this also has Bluetooth. I think it's for calling though. It doesn't have Bluetooth audio, just calling. Wow, this hill is very steep. I don't think I've ever been over here before. Very interesting. Yeah, and yeah, still has AC and all that stuff. But like I said, the quality very poor, extremely poor. The interior, like I said before in the previous portion of this video, they cheaped out with the interior. The Civic has more interior space, room, even down here by the driver floor area, whatever you call this part. There's not much space for you to put stuff. Maybe you could put like a folder or something like that. In the Civic that I had before, the 8th gen Civic, you can put like cups there. It's essentially a cup holder, and then you had a cup holder at the front too, and then the center console / armrest was like very big and spacious. But this car is more like an entry-level, bare bones, cheap budget car. Even the stock 2.2 liter version of it was very essentially cheap, right? Cheap. But like when GM made this car, I don't know if this is the first time you guys watching a Cobalt review, probably not, but they will all say this car, GM stuffed all the money into the engine and the transmission. That's where all the money went, the engine and the transmission. And then the seats are pretty nice, and that's it. But hearing that, whew, I don't know, man. Might be worth not having VTEC for that, but yeah, I think this is the end of this review. I mean, the Cobalt's all right. Other competitors in its class would be the Mazda Speed 3, another car that I was considering about getting, and this guy pulled out so far. I don't know why he pulled out so far. Interesting. Where's my mind? Oh, sorry. The Hyundai Genesis was also another competitor as well. But yeah, ultimately I wanted a sedan, and pretty much my options I was looking at was Mazda Speed 3, which is a 4-door, the Cobalt, which is also 4-door, and the Neon XRT4, which is also 4-door. But I don't know who has a worse reputation, the Cobalt or the Neon. Who knows? You guys sign off in the comments. Nobody really. Sorry. I don't know. I acted like I'm some big YouTube content creator. Sorry, it's just a habit from these other YouTube content creators. Nobody really watches my videos, and if they do, y'all skim through the videos. You guys don't even watch my video like fully. I barely get any comments on my video.